Okay.
Hey everyone, this is Fago Franklin III with New Stitch Media. I'm right here with Marnie Schneider. Hey, how you doing first and foremost?
How you doing, Fago?
I'm well, I'm
Sorry.
well. How about you?
Let me say
You
hi
got a
too.
dog barking and everything.
I'm gonna move locations so that, it's hard to compete with two really, cute dogs. All right, wait, maybe they stop. Irving! That's Fumble the dog, by the way, who's barking.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, how you doing?
Yeah. All right.
So,
Well, we'll try it for a minute and see if I have to move, I'll move. Okay.
oh no, you're perfectly fine. So tell me how you doing first and foremost. How's life right now for you?
Oh, thank you for asking. Life is good. I am very fortunate that, we kind of live a little bit out of the city. So we've been managing to um, live a really low key existence, staying healthy, obviously, thinking really good thoughts for everybody that has been impacted by the coronavirus. And then certainly all the current state of events right now. My mom, who is my best friend and my biggest cheerleader and mentor, was recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So she lives with us too. And so, we've had a lot going on over the past couple years, and certainly her illness is progressing. But I'm grateful that she's living with us and that I get the chance to spend a lot of time with her, and also hopefully am doing things to make her proud.
Awesome, awesome. I love hearing good stuff about that. So tell me, what about, you how do you manage being an entrepreneur, helping out your community as well as your mother? How do you balance life, health, as well as your foundation?
Well, giving back is something that I think is in my family DNA. My grandfather not only owned the Philadelphia Eagles, but he was also the original founder of the Ronald McDonald House. So I think that for me, it's always something giving back to the community. When my grandfather owned the team, his whole thing was, yes, I'm kind of the team owner, but this is really a commodity for the community and for the fans. And so finding ways to give back is something really important to me. Some of the things that I've done recently with Football Freddy and Fumble the Dog Game Day, I have 7 books now. My third book is Game Day in Atlanta. And last year, something that we did, which was really fun, and we're going to do it again this year, was we donated 500 copies of our book to the Atlanta Fire Station 16. And that is actually the first historically all African American fire station. It might be in the state of Georgia, but I think it's actually perhaps in the United States. So these are things that really are important to me, finding ways to give back. So they had a huge Christmas party and 500 kids got a copy of Football Freddy. And that was so exciting. And I got to meet a lot of the kids and their families. And those are things that really matter to me, finding ways to get kids reading, get families reading together, and just learning about different places that I've been fortunate enough to travel to. And not everybody gets a chance to travel to Atlanta or Philadelphia or the Carolinas or Pittsburgh. So my books take you on these tours without having to go there, but it's almost as good.
Okay, what inspired the book, and was it hard writing the book, or was it just so easy with transitioning from life experiences and putting it into a book format?
Well, my mother was a teacher before she became an attorney and ran the Philadelphia Eagles. She was a teacher. So I grew up having opportunity. Fago, I have to get Irving. The barking is crazy. Come here, Irv. Sorry. Irving, come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good boys. Oh, good boys. I know. Sorry. My neighbor has a dog, and it's very exciting when they see the other dog outside. So you're a good boy. Oh, you're a good boy. Okay. For me, my mom was a teacher and I love doing, schoolwork and reading. And I also loved the fact that I got to see a lot of great places and do a lot of really cool things. So I thought, well, maybe if I can merge my love for travel, my love for reading, my love for history, my love for football, in particular, speaking sports. And I think that sports is the universal language. And you can really learn a lot about, just sports. To me, like if you can speak a little bit of sports, it will bring you into places that you want to be in and get you out of places you don't want to be at. So I think that having a little bit of knowledge, plus it really does bring people together, and we can all agree that such and such is a great player, even if we don't like their team or something like that. But talent is talent. So I wanted to write a book that would highlight, great cities, and we have so many great cities and so many great places, and that would also encourage families to read together and bring people together. And so that's how Football Freddy and Fumble the Dog came to be.
All right. With your family being so involved with the Philadelphia Eagles, what was the best experience that you had with your grandfather, just being around certain players in the industry?
Well, I was pretty young. I think for me, the best experience was getting an opportunity to watch how my grandfather helped build the Ronald McDonald House and use his platform and network of professional athletes and of, celebrity status. And rather than using that to get a great reservation at a restaurant, using that as a way to add value to families and people that weren't getting the right treatment that they definitely needed. So I think that was, like, for me, the best experience and what I learned the most. I mean, obviously, I love hearing about professional athletes and their stories and their hardships and the grit and the resolve and the sacrifice that everybody, has, all the parents, the mothers. I love when professional athletes say, thank you, Mom, because it really is the mother's heavy lifting of getting kids to practice, making sacrifices, cutting up the orange slices, bringing them to practice, buying them cleats and not getting a manicure, or just whatever it is, doing all these things that really will provide their children with the opportunity to be on a team or to play. And so those are things that really resonate deeply with me, more so than the celebrity part of it.
I respect it. So tell me, how are you adjusting to life with the COVID-19? How you and your foundation are affected by this pandemic? What are you doing right now to help others just get through it?
Well, the thing is, for me, is look, for every day I wake up to what I want to accomplish professionally. Certainly as a daughter, it's very important for me to be a great daughter to my mother and to be a great mother to my 3 children. I'm a single mom. I've got 3 teenagers. Like, I've got, a lot of responsibility with them, and I'm an animal owner. So, like, those are things that I initially wake up, and every day I get up at 5:30 and I'm like, okay, I got to do this, this, and this. And then every day what I really try to do is find a way to make a difference, to give back. So those are things that are really important to me. I try to be consistent and comprehensive in the things that I do. So it's not just like, oh, here's this or here's that. I mean, I could spend my day on Facebook, making small little donations, which I do some days. I'll say I'm going to spend $50 and $5 to, the first 10 charities that people are asking donations for, because I want people to know that I'm paying attention and that they matter to me. But I think for me, what I'm doing also is finding ways with the coronavirus, with what's happening in our country now, finding ways to really give back, whether it's reaching out to the fire chief in Atlanta, who I met when I did my Christmas party with them, and saying, hey, chief, what can I do? I've got some books. Do you want them? We'll bring them down. Is that going to help you? Is it just whatever it is, things that I can do to add value? I'm also very involved in the Ronald McDonald House. So, like, even today, they have an online auction that's going up, and one of the auction items that you can bid on is an opportunity to do a tour of Philadelphia with me and get some signed books, go to Pat's Cheesesteaks. And so I'm, hopeful that people will bid on that. It'd be pretty embarrassing if nobody did, but it's possible. I'm going to get some moles out there to bid on it. If you know anybody. No, I mean, hopefully people will bid on that. So these are things that, like, I'm donating my time, which I'm so happy to do. And it's such a privilege for me to get to do that. So those are things that make me happy. Like, I always think, for me, whenever I'm feeling like a little melancholy, I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend the next hour helping somebody else. And then, you know what? It always ends up helping me, Fago, no matter what. And I think I told you this before when we had, like, a brief conversation. Anytime that somebody says, will you help me? And I do, I always end up being the beneficiary 9 times out of 10. It just is how it works. Yeah.
Mm.
And then I'm also
Well,
doing everything I can to keep my mother healthy. I've got, an aged mother with Alzheimer's in my house. I have to be very careful because she is my most precious friend. I want to make sure
mhm.
that everything we do is to keep her healthy because so many other seniors are not in a position, and it breaks my heart. It really tears me up when I think about the way that we treat seniors in this country is terrible. We treat a lot of people terribly. And um, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're just not listening. And I think if we start listening better to seniors, to obviously African Americans, to people that are sick, to the people that are emotionally and morally bankrupt, I think if we can listen to them, we might be able to do some positive things.
Exactly. And I'm gonna bounce off the answer you just have given. What positive message can you give people about what's going on in this world? How can you inspire them by giving them an encouraging word? Because a lot of people want to see change. So you can be the change. So what are the positive words that you can give us?
I think, for me, the best advice my mom ever gave me was to do your homework. So start doing their homework, whatever it is, reading, doing their homework, of understanding really where we are. It's like homework is a grind. When I was younger, and even this day, like I'm sitting here staring at notebook paper because my kids just finished school. It's like, this is turned into our homework, computer. This is now our station of doing work and things, but like doing your homework. So for everybody out there, and no one wants to do homework. We all want the quick, easy fix. And we all want it to be immediate. I can't snap very well with my right hand, but we all want that. But like the fact is, you have to do your homework. When people start doing their homework, that's when you will start getting better grades. That's when you'll start feeling more confident. That's when you'll start knowing and seeing a difference. Right now, people aren't doing their homework. So to me, it's about, doing your homework, learning good coping skills. Reading and playing are great coping skills. So I sometimes think that if we can do our homework, read, do a little bit of being playfulness, those are some things that will automatically reset you. And then obviously doing charity, and really doing charity, not just like the photo op, like, oh, I'm donating, aren't I great? No, you're not actually, but it's a start. But like you
Hmm.
have to consistently and comprehensively do that. And that will actually potentially rewire your brain, because our brains are not wired that well lately. So the homework will help, just doing your homework, whatever it is.
Okay. And the last question I'm going to give you is, what advice can you give other individuals about making their dreams happen and taking the leap of faith?
Well, I think that, the thing is, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So, for me, I've had a circuitous path of getting, accomplish certain things, and that's okay. It's okay. Make up a list every day of some little tiny things that you want to accomplish, and don't put all the pressure on yourself. You've got to put some pressure on yourself because that's good. Having the ability to kick your own ASS from time and time again is a good thing if you're not accomplishing what you think you want to do. But you know what? Remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Every day, be consistent and comprehensive. Don't say, I'm going to do this, and then, none of it gets done. You have to really say, like, here's what I'm going to do, and here's what I'm prepared to not do in order to do this. And I think that if you can make the sacrifices, because like sacrifices to me are kind of a challenge. Like I love making sacrifices. If you can make
Hmm.
sacrifices, then I think that that's a great tool to be able to understand your own ability to have discipline and grit and tenacity. Those are things that really, are really part of like the chemistry of getting things done. And then my grandfather would always say something. He would always say, civility is not a sign of weakness. So I think going forward, if we can all remember a little bit of that civility, and everyone's definition is different of what civility is. I think, my definition of being civil is probably different than yours, although something tells me we're probably similar to that. But it's about being civil and being kind, and and listening to people. I've been rambling for the past 20 minutes, but like, I love to listen to people and hear what they have to say, because that's how I get, my brain rewired, and that's part of my homework. And it makes me more interesting when I can add value when I've heard somebody speak.
Amen. Amen. And thank you for being on this show and just speaking with me. Everybody, Marnie Schneider, I thank you for just coming on the show, and definitely have a blessed one, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Fago. I'm really,
Yes,
you're,
ma'am.
you're quite a special gentleman. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Everybody definitely have a blessed and productive day. Marnie Schneider, thank you.
Thank you very